I'm gonna play a little bit of a game here with Tango. Tango has a pretty good recall, partially because he's kind of needy, but partially because it's something he's worked on. When he arrived, he was about 7.5, almost 8 months old, and he had zero foundation. He'd never even been on a leash or in a car before he'd been rescued. So his whole life, he's about 3 years old now. He'll be turning 4 in the summer. His whole learning career has been really positive for him, so he really likes it. He's also super food motivated, which is pretty freaking handy. And he's a good little boy. He teaches a lot of classes and stuff with me. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but we love him anyways. But he tries really hard, and that makes up for a lot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a game that I like to use to help install recall. And it's perfectly fine to start it in a confined space, like my training space here in my garage. I have a 1-car garage, and I've converted it to my training space, and it's a perfectly adequate space to start this game. Hell, you can do it in your living room. My living room is full of dog beds, and treats get lost, so I don't like to do it there. Plus, that's why I have this room. Anyways, so Tango's going to demonstrate it. I'm going to take a treat, and I'm just going to kind of throw it. It doesn't have to go very far. It's just for him to move away from me is my only goal, right? So over there, get it. And I'm going to tell him to go get it. Now, Tango, come. Yes, good boy. All right, you ready? Get it. And it floats around. I should use heavier treats, I think. I've got some really light ones in here, like lightweight ones. Tango's not really that fussy. Here, buddy. Tango. Yes, good boy. All right, ready? Get it. Tango, come. Yes, good boy. So the secret is when I throw it, I want to tell him to go and get it because I want to make sure that we're not teaching him accidentally that every time I throw my hand, he's automatically going to be allowed to get it. At some point, I'll probably do things like putting him on a leash and restraining him and then throwing it and then waiting and delaying to get it. But for right now, the purpose of this exercise is to get him to move away from me and then to return to me. And it creates this pattern of reinforcement, and it's called a reinforcement history in terms of psychology. And you can't see my face at all, but that's okay. You can see Tango, and he's the important part. And so it creates this reinforcement history so that when we're out in the world and I ask him to come, he knows what that means. And his brain says, hey, every time they say that and I come back, I get a cookie. So the other key component of this is when I tell him that he's done the right thing, he's going to go looking for that treat that he lost. His nose works really well. So the other part of that is this idea that I want to start saying yes when he makes the correct choice, right? And the correct choice is made over there when he turns around and re-engages with me. So that translates to being out in the real world. That's the biggest secret to a recall is when I mark the behavior. Now you can mark it with the word yes, you can mark it with a click, you can mark it with whatever it is that you're using as your marker. That's why marker training is so awesome, because working at a distance becomes actually relatively simple because we can tell the dog in the precise moment any given behavior that they've done is great. As you get more advanced with it, you can advance your markers into using multiple markers for multiple things. I have continuation markers. I have markers that say that your reward is coming. Markers that are continuation say just keep going, you're on the right track, and then eventually I will get to you. I will get you your snack. So since Tango's so food motivated, this is a great way to practice with him. And it's a great way to create reinforcement because his little brain processes the information of Tango come being like, get over here and get a cookie. And his moment he chooses to make the right choice is the moment I want to reward him. Excuse me, my allergies are really bad this morning. If I sound a little nasally. All right, get it. Tango, come. Yes, good job. Now, if I want to create an automatic sit when I could do a recall, I'm going to go, Tango, get it. Come. Yes. Yeah, good boy. And now he does it automatically. But what I would do is I would yes and reward and then ask for that sit and then reward. Tango kind of knows the drill already since he's pretty experienced at this. And he has a pretty good recall. I can recall him from geese and all kinds of stuff. Get it. Tango, come. Yes. Good boy. And anytime that Tango struggles with his recall out in the trails or things like that, because sometimes stuff happens and there's really exciting things going on, my simple solution is I put him back on a leash and we go back to playing these games when we're done. Or if we have the opportunity to play those games when we're on the trail, then we play them there too. I love these games. I use a long line in a big field and I just throw stuff away and call him back and throw stuff away and call him back. The more you practice the recall, the better it gets. Say goodbye, Tango. All right, station. Yeah, good boy. That's a new one we're working on.